Deep in the segregated South, in the small town of Clarksville, Tennessee, a fragile baby girl was born on June 23, 1940. Weighing just 4.5 pounds, Wilma Rudolph entered the world prematurely, the 20th of 22 children in a poor African-American family. Her early years were filled with sickness. Double pneumonia and scarlet fever nearly claimed her life before she could walk. But the worst came when she was diagnosed with polio, a disease that left her left leg paralyzed and twisted. Doctors told her mother there was little hope, that Wilma would never walk again without a brace. Medical treatment for Black children in the 1940s South was limited, but her mother was relentless, taking her to a hospital over 50 miles away and learning how to do physical therapy at home. Every day, her family massaged her leg, stretched it, worked with her, even when Wilma screamed from the pain. The odds were stacked high against her: poverty, racism, illness, and a body that refused to obey. But something inside Wilma burned brighter than her circumstances. She hated being left behind, hated watching other children run while she stood still. And somewhere in that quiet frustration, a decision took root. She would not be defined by what others thought she couldn't do. Wilma Rudolph may have started life with one leg in a brace, but she was already learning how to run. Wilma's defiance of fate began with a single step, without a brace, without help, just her own will pushing her forward. By age 12, she had done what doctors thought impossible. She walked again. But she didn't stop there. She ran. Awkwardly at first, then faster, stronger, with a grace that came from years of struggle. In high school, she joined the basketball team, and though she was quiet and unsure, her speed caught everyone's attention. She became a high scorer, leading her team to a state championship, and it was there that she caught the eye of Tennessee State University's track coach, Ed Temple. Temple saw something special, a raw, untapped greatness, and invited her to train with his track program. Wilma committed herself fully, practicing with discipline and focus few others could match. Running became more than movement. It was freedom, rebellion, purpose. At just 16 years old, she qualified for the 1956 Olympics in Melbourne, Australia. She returned home with a bronze medal in the 4x100-meter relay, but deep inside, she wanted more. She had tasted the world stage, and she was just getting started. In 1960, Wilma Rudolph arrived in Rome for the Summer Olympics, not just as an athlete, but as a woman on a mission. The world didn't know her name yet, but that was about to change. In the 100-meter dash, she burst from the starting blocks like lightning, leaving her competition in the dust and claiming her first gold medal. Days later, she dominated the 200-meter race, gliding across the finish line with effortless power to win her second gold. The final challenge was the 4x100-meter relay, a team effort where one mistake could ruin everything. During the race, Wilma nearly dropped the baton, but recovered with lightning reflexes and surged ahead, anchoring the team to victory and her third gold medal. She became the first American woman to win 3 gold medals in a single Olympics. Rome fell in love with her. Newspapers called her La Gazella Nera, the Black Gazelle. Her elegance on the track, paired with her explosive speed, made her an international sensation. Back home in the United States, she returned not just as a champion, but as a symbol of hope, pride, and possibility. In Clarksville, she insisted her victory parade be open to everyone, regardless of race. It became the first integrated event in the town's history. Wilma didn't just win gold, she helped break barriers. After achieving what no American woman had done before, Wilma Rudolph could have basked in her fame, but she chose a different path. At just 22 years old, she retired from competitive track and field, believing it was time to use her voice for something greater. She became a teacher and a coach, dedicating herself to mentoring children, especially girls, who needed someone to believe in them. Wilma understood that her victories weren't just personal, they were part of a larger fight for equality and justice. She traveled the country, speaking out for civil rights, often appearing at rallies and schools to inspire the next generation. Wherever she went, she carried herself with the same grace she had shown on the track. Her story became a symbol of what was possible when determination met opportunity. She pushed for gender equality in sports long before it was popular or widely accepted. Through her foundation and public work, she helped countless young athletes believe they could be more than their circumstances. She worked tirelessly to ensure that doors were opened wider than the ones she had to push through. Wilma wasn't just a former Olympic champion. She became a role model, a change maker, and a quiet force for transformation. Her post-racing life was proof that being a champion off the track mattered just as much as gold medals. Wilma Rudolph passed away in 1994 at the age of 54, taken too soon by brain cancer, but her legacy remains immortal. Though her life ended, her story continues to inspire generations around the world. She had become more than an athlete. She was a symbol of courage, determination, and grace under pressure. Schools, streets, and stadiums were named in her honor, and her story became required reading for young girls with big dreams. Her journey from a paralyzed child in the segregated South to the fastest woman in the world became one of the most powerful testaments to human will in sports history. In classrooms, on tracks, and in communities across America, her name still echoes like a rallying cry. You can overcome anything. She showed the world that no circumstance, poverty, illness, or discrimination could define your limits. Every time a young athlete laces up their shoes or refuses to give up, they carry a piece of Wilma's spirit. Her legacy lives in the millions she inspired. Athletes, activists, dreamers. She ran not just for medals, but for change. And in every finish line broken, every barrier shattered, Wilma Rudolph is still running.
Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you liked this video. We post videos weekly. Make sure you turn on notifications so you don't miss a single one.